What's up, guys? It's your boy AJ, and welcome to a very special edition of Hondo Talks. If you did not know, May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have a very special guest with me, Ms. Chanell Dominque. She actually works in the mental health profession, and she's actually going to talk with us about mental health issues, especially in the Black community. Roll intro.
No. Hey, I'm excited to talk about the brain and mental health. Oh my gosh, thank you, Avery, for inviting me.
Of course.
Like you said, my name is Chanell. Just a little bit about myself and my background. If you didn't know, now you know. I am a graduate of VCU and Howard. I study psychology and social work. Currently, I practice at a mental health agency, doing outpatient therapy, and I'm training to get my clinical social work license, which will allow me to provide therapy to children and adults. And I really love it. It's very humbling because people come in with all of these life's problems, and it's like, dang, I ate leftovers today, but you about to get evicted. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes you very, very humble. Mental health is very stigmatized in the African American community, and actually when mental health first came about in the older ages, it was kind of taboo, and it's still taboo. But mental health is just as important as your physical health and your dental health, sexual health. Any type of health is very important. So
okay. And she gave us a whole overview right off the bat. I love it. That makes my job so much easier. But so what do you feel as though actually inspired you to actually get into the mental health field?
Oh my gosh. My life experiences, my personal experiences within my family, family conflict and things like that. I originally wanted to be a child psychiatrist, but you have to go to school for like medicine and stuff. But then I changed my mind when I made my minor social welfare at VCU, and I was interning at this adult day center. And what I liked about it was the social worker there, he had to call and make sure each person had food in their house, they were being treated right. And that to me, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. So I merged my love of psychology and social work together, and I was like clinical social worker. So there. But I love studying human behavior. I love knowing why people like to do the things they do, why they think the way they do. And like I'm telling you, when you start studying psych and social work, you're gonna look at things so much more differently. Even you're gonna pick up on body language quickly, things that people don't say, things that people do say. You're gonna be able to read people. It's just like it opens up another side of your brain. So that's why I love it so much. But that's pretty much why I decided to do it. So and I want to help people. So.
Right. You're just a loving and very caring person. You have a really, really good heart. From the time I've known you, that you've given me really, really good advice on religion, spiritual, like conundrums that I have within myself, and stuff like that. So, I want to thank you personally, honestly, for helping me in my mental, my health journey. Do you feel as though maybe it was like a turning point for you, where you were just like, okay, like this is my life's calling, this is my passion? Like, was there a particular like life circumstance that was like, this is what I need to do with the rest of my life?
Yes. Well, I feel like that actually every day. I don't know if I can pick a specific moment, but I can think about a moment in my life where I've experienced like trauma, and it made me say, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this so I can help other people and be a witness. And not a lot of people know my life story, but I will be transparent. A couple years ago, my nephew was almost killed, and so to me, I was like, oh yeah, social work is for me. Psychology's for me. But people, when I meet people, they spill out everything, and sometimes that can be a sign of poor boundaries, or it can just be a sign of I really need somebody to talk to, and I trust you right now.
Right.
And it's like I'm like this gatekeeper. So that's what makes me feel like I'm called to do
terms of mental health in general, but how important do you feel it is in like the Black community, and what do you feel as though like is maybe the one thing, if you had to pick one thing that the Black community as a whole struggles with mentally right now, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, Avery, you asking all these good questions.
I'm thinking about these on the fly, girl. No cards at all. I can't read nothing. I'm driving, so.
I would say. You said one.
I mean, matter of fact, let's say top three.
Top three, okay.
Yeah. Hey, I keep you talking.
One, depression is one. Anxiety and anger.
Okay, and why?
One, depression. A lot of people are walking around here depressed, and they don't even really know it. And they have their family members saying, "Oh, well, you'll be fine." Like it's not really taken seriously. And a lot of depression comes from the stuff that goes on in the home, like family stuff, your environment, and how you've grown up. And a lot of people are still dealing with stuff from their childhood, like grief and loss, and the way that they were brought up, relationships in the family. It hasn't been addressed, and so they're still dealing with that, and it keeps coming up in different parts of their lives, and it hasn't been addressed yet. So that's why I say depression. And then a lot of people, you don't know. You think somebody's happy, and next thing you know is, oh, you heard so-and-so killed herself.
Oh, wow.
And you think,
right.
yeah, you think, oh, dang, she was so happy.
Right.
But it's like a mask, anxiety, because people feel like, especially, I'm not even going to say just men, but women too, they feel like they have to meet society's standard of what they're supposed to be in life.
Right.
I'm supposed to be making this amount of money. Why I ain't move out my mama house yet? Why I ain't got this car? Why ain't I married? Why I ain't got no man?
Right.
Why ain't I, they feel pressured. So they have all this anxiety. They think that people are judging them or talking about them or like expecting more of them. But it's like, no, you are running your own race. Everybody has their own lane. God has specifically written out things in his timing for you. And anxiety will make you feel like you're not doing enough.
Right.
Or,
You're just going to read my whole life like that.
oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to.
I'm sitting over here. You're right.
I wasn't trying to. I'm sorry. But yes, that's anxiety, and I even struggle with anxiety sometimes because of things that I've been through. If I make a mistake, I'm like, oh shoot, like let me hurry up and correct myself, But everybody deals with anxiety to some degree. Last one, anger, also has a lot to do with things that have gone on maybe in your childhood. Just things that you never addressed. It's bottling up inside of you.
Right.
You haven't properly addressed it. So now when somebody make you mad, you spazzing on them, and it's like, whoa, like I only said one thing to you.
Exactly.
But it's like, we never talked about what happened, and I'm still angry about that.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I definitely feel as though one of those, especially like within, just speaking, from experience and being a Black man, I feel like also, that there's a lot of stigma in retrospective to like how a man should be, or a Black man in general should be, in regards to like being sensitive and like, or you're not supposed to show emotions.
Oh my
and stuff
God,
like
that drives me crazy. I can't stand that.
Right, and so I guess my question in regards to that is, how do you, if you had a message for all of our, Black men, because I feel like that relates to mental health as well.
Yeah, it does.
Because there's so many people going, Black men need to be strong, and you can't cry, and you can't have emotions and stuff like that. So if you had a message for, the man that actually struggles with showing emotions, communicating, actually being vulnerable, what would it be?
I would say this. First of all, it starts with your upbringing. If you have parents that acknowledge you, that you have feelings too, and say it's okay to cry, it starts there. It starts with where you first heard it from, like, because I've heard moms tell the little boy, why you crying like a little girl? Like, stop crying. That's the first place that they hear it. So it's like, oh, so now I can't cry.
Right.
But I will say that, one, we are human. We are human, and it has a lot to do with gender roles in society. So from society's perspective, a man is supposed to be very macho and not show emotion, but we are human, and it's like, that's not healthy. Whatever you're feeling, you need to let it out.
Right.
So by all means, cry if you need to. And I say, if you can't cry in front of your friends or your girlfriend or something, then they not for you.
Exactly.
Like, we like, come on now. God created us. Like, you're gonna cry. Like,
right,
it's okay
exactly.
to be sensitive about things, you know. And I like sensitive men. Not to the point where they, like, don't stand up for themselves, but it's okay to be human. Don't let people tell you.
Balance.
Yeah, it's okay to have a balance. Like, don't let people tell you. And I'm gonna just, talk about the women too for a minute. It's okay to be assertive. Like, people feel like women are supposed to just be, oh, you're so soft and this and that. Like, no, I can be assertive too.
Right.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. Thank you for answering all my questions.
Yes, I'm really glad. Come on, my brain is sizzling.
Right, I see. Like, you just spitting them out too.
Yes.
So, like, how do you feel as though, like, how do you, as a mental health professional, handle mental health on your own? Like,
on my own. Ooh.
Like, how do you, like, because you deal with certain situations and you're involved in certain situations that honestly can be quite depressive. So how do you kind of cope with your own mental health?
First of all, the most important thing is having a relationship with God, because without him, I'm nothing. I always seek him first. I always pray. It's always good to have wise counsel. So I talk to my friends, because, and like the saying goes, a shrink needs a shrink.
Right.
And I have been thinking about seeing a therapist for myself, because sometimes the world gets heavy and I get overwhelmed and I need somebody to talk to. So I reach out to my friends. I also reach out to my colleagues who are also in the same position as me.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm like, yo, you know where I'm coming from, you know how I feel about that, and we help build each other up. So that's where my support comes from. And sometimes it can get hard, but I say having social support and definitely God and just going to my word and just bringing myself back to the foundation helps me. Yeah. Okay.
That's a word for this Sunday. You just make me start shouting in here.
Yes.
Okay. So I know that, just personally speaking, that I've I can be transparent and say that, I haven't really, known where my life is headed. My purpose, my passion, I just feel like, I'm kind of just floating here, for, lack of a better term. And it's very, depressing at times, to be such a go-getter, but not really going anywhere. So it's like, how do you, if obviously if someone, and that someone's me, is bringing you a particular issue like that, what advice would you give them?
Well, I'm gonna think in terms of if I was helping a client. Okay, so I would ask them, okay, what are your interests? Do you have a plan? Write down all of your interests. What is your, first of all, what is your ultimate goal, and what are the steps to get there, and your interests. All of that is going to stem from, what are my interests? Okay, now let me create a big goal. How do I get there?
Right.
But in the meantime, while I'm pursuing my goal, what am I doing to have streams of income and support to help me until I get to that goal?
Right.
So yeah, that would be my advice. And also, once again, praying and asking God for confirmation, because you don't want to go the wrong way. I'm telling you, going without seeking him for confirmation about where you're supposed to be, that's a heavy price to pay.
You're right.
Because you, say for instance, I know I've heard people say school is not for everybody. maybe you thought you were supposed to go to school and now you racked up in student loans. And God, like, I ain't tell you to go to school. I told you to go do this.
Yep.
So, but that one for me, because I needed an MSW for this LCSW. So,
right.
But yeah, just I would say, you know, writing down your goals, your interests, and definitely seeking God, and also people who are in the field or whatever you want to do. Talk to a mentor. Ask them for guidance and support.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's really good advice. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna run with it because
take it and run.
Because I know with me that it's been difficult to be like, you know, I want to do this or this interests me. It's like usually like I'll have like an interest, but I'm like, how can this interest create like a love and a fire inside of me, but also generate an income? Because you know, money is there. I wish it wasn't at times, but you know, we have to make it in order to survive.
And that's another thing. Like, God will literally, I'm telling you, He'll blow your mind. Like, you have to just tell Him exactly what you telling me. Like, yo, God, this is what I want to do. How can you let me make money doing what I want to do? And He's like, I got you. All you got to do is ask me. I promise you. Just call Him. Me and my brother always be like, call God. And we joke and we laugh at like, for real, no, call God.
Right, exactly.
Call
no,
Him. Like,
listen.
You wondering how I'm successful? Call Him. Like,
right. Because,
and you'll know.
Exactly. And I've, you know, kind of more so in this period of my life, I've like realized what the difference is between being still and being stagnant. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me that she was like, hey, you just need to be still. Like, you know, you're always doing something. You're always doing, you know, but, you know, kind of be still and trust God and be quiet and allow Him to move. You know, especially, you know, in this particular period where, you know, depression is on, you know, an all-time high, and, you know, suicide rates are on an all-time high because of these, you know, issues that aren't addressed, that, you know, we just could have just mitigated by, like, just being still and being, you know, silent and allowing things to move as they may. So I guess we're kind of bringing things to a close. We're getting well the conversation, but you know, there's a surprise at the end of this video. So that's something I'm trying for the first time. So so I mean, and we will see what that is by the end of this video. But if you could give, you know, a last bit of advice to people out there maybe struggling with their own mental health issues, or maybe actually even wanting to get into the field, what would it be?
I would say definitely, if you are trying to get in the field, talk to somebody you already know that's in the field for advice. Hey, even reach out to me, IG_Chanell Dominque. I'm pretty sure Avery's gonna put some edits on the video, and so yeah, ask me. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's the main thing. And then if you are struggling with your mental health, if you have health insurance, see if your health insurance will cover you going to a individual session maybe every 2 weeks to talk to somebody if you really are, you know, seriously trying to get help. And it's nothing wrong with having a therapist. You don't even have to tell nobody you have a therapist. Just talk to people that you feel comfortable with about it. Talk to a family member, but don't wait until it's too late or the problem is getting out of hand. Address it now if you are struggling with something, especially depression, because it's so real, you know. I have people telling me that they can't even get out the bed sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So address it while it's fresh, and don't be afraid to seek help, because it's somebody out there waiting for you to step out so they can do their part for you. So
makes sense.
That's all I got.
Fantastic, right? Hey, that was a great conversation. Well, Chanell, I would like to thank you for being a guest on Hondo Talks. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Avery.
You showed me so much about the mental health profession, and told me a lot of things that I could actually use in my daily life as well. And I really hope that you help somebody out there as well. You guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell your mama about it. I'm an icon, man. I'm a girl about a 10. I should fuck her